Welcome to this lecture on pages that Google wants to see from your site. In this lecture, we're going to cover a couple of different things. First of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the Google Search Quality Guidelines, and then we're going to go into a couple of the pages such as the contact page, privacy page, your terms and conditions that Google want to see on your site. Is my site of a high enough quality? You should be asking yourself that question all the time. Google publishes internally what they call their Google Quality Guidelines. Now, they have thousands of people literally around the world who manually go out and review sites against these quality guidelines, and they complete online checklists and surveys, and then they decide based on the quality of the guidelines how good or bad your site is, and that information then feeds back into their algorithms so that algorithmically they can work out which sites are good and which sites are bad based on a quality sample of ever increasing size. Now, version 5 of this document leaked out in July 2014, and there was some pretty interesting aspects of the guidelines that had changed. In particular, the quality guidelines say a satisfying amount of website information, for example, about us information, contact, or customer service information are what are considered required for a high quality site. So that begs the question, what pages should you have on your site? Well, it goes without saying that you need an About Us page. You should always have one. Google say it's important, so that in and of itself is a good enough reason to do it if you're interested in search engine optimization and having your site ranking in the search engine results pages. But About Us pages really help you connect with your audience. They let you tell the people who are visiting a little bit about you, your business, whatever you're offering, and you can do some really clever things with it as well. So I've seen people do opt-ins on their About Us pages or highlight key posts and key products and service offerings. So, you want to talk about you and your business or your service, but it also gives you the opportunity to do a little bit of marketing. So it's a good page to have irrespective, but Google says it's important, so you should have it. A contact page. Now, contact information is considered by Google to be what they call a trust signal. Things like phone numbers, address details, and your company information are all really good things to have. It shows Google when they're scanning your site that you're a legitimate website and that people, if they have a problem with your site or any of the products and services you offer, they know how to contact you. Having a contact us form is good, but again, it's not great because if you think about it, it's just a form that people fill in, and really Google can't glean too much information from that. So they're not getting those trust signal factors that they want. Now, a combination of a contact page with your phone number, your address details, whatever company information you might have, plus having the ability for somebody to contact you through a contact form, now that's a much better combination. Privacy policy, you have to have one. It's not an option. It's not necessarily an SEO issue per se. While Google look for it as a trust signal, it's not going to help you rank specifically. But if you do any kind of advertising, AdWords, Facebook, if you do promoted Twitter posts, whatever, you have to have one. They won't approve your ads and they won't send you traffic unless they can see that people who go to your site have the ability very quickly to look at what kind of information you're collecting about them and what you do with that information. Now, you can go to a lawyer and get one done, and that can cost a lot of money, but there are also a lot of free ones online. Make sure you get one that's applicable for the area in which you operate. So if you're in Australia like I am, I'm going to want a privacy policy that's geared a little bit more to the Australian audience rather than, say, one for Europe or Asia or even the United States. Terms of use. You really need a terms of use page because, again, it's not an SEO requirement, but it is pretty legally useful. I'm not offering you free legal advice here. Go get your own. But what good terms of use does is it starts to put limit on your liability. So it outlines what you are responsible for. It also sets jurisdiction. So again, we come back to where you are. You want to explain to the people who are visiting your site that your local laws apply to the content and their use of your site. That just really helps you so that You don't find people making claims against you in foreign countries. You can kind of at least point back and say, well, the terms of use for my site were local jurisdiction. IP ownership is another good one. In a good terms of use, it overtly says that all of the intellectual property on that site belongs to you, or that you have licensed it in a way that's legally usable for you, but they can't reproduce that without your consent. There are a couple of technical details that we should probably talk about. Usually these pages are what are called boilerplates, so they're just templates that you can use over and over and over again. One thing I do hear a lot about when you talk to people about SEO and some of these standard boilerplate pages is that they worry about duplicate content. Matt Cutts from Google is on record as saying, don't worry about them. It's generally just one page. It's not a lot, and Google are looking for it. So they kind of know to leave that out. You will, however, want to set the links to your privacy policy and your terms of use to rel no follow. And so that's just so that, Google doesn't actually come in and start following the links to the site from your privacy policy to other parts of the page. So in summary, trust signals are important for SEO. It's one of the things that Google is putting a lot more weight on there. They want to make sure that your site is a legitimate site. So when they send you their visitors and their traffic, that you're an upstanding member of your community, and that you're not going to scrape information, and you're not going to misuse the people that they're sending you. Google openly talks about what they're looking for in high quality sites. So while the quality guidelines themselves are not publicly disseminated, you can find Google's senior staff and their web spam team telling you what it is they're looking for, what they want to see. And I encourage you to take the time and create these pages. They're really a good requirement for you and for your online business. And it doesn't take a lot of effort, so make sure you spend the time and do it.